Hey everyone, good to see you back. Thanks for coming. I am excited to share with you our new picks. The Edgefinder Trade Signals Reveal was a success because last Wednesday, when I gave out two trades, they immediately turned into winners. I'm going to jump right to what the picks are for tonight. These signals will be active right away, and you can trade them when the market opens for the stock pick, or you could trade them right now for the currency pick. Without further ado, let's look at the slide that shows you the trade signal reveal. And the first thing that I want to let you know about here is that the slides, there we are, are going to show you several things. First, here's the two picks. NEM, that's Newmont Mining. It's one of the foremost gold miner stocks. The signal, the trade signal is enter at $126.20 or below. And from your entry price, relative to your entry price, set a stop loss $3.53 lower and set a profit target $2.53 higher. That's the stock pick for today. Okay. Now, the currency pick, the stock pick you wouldn't be able to use until the New York Stock Exchange opens tomorrow morning, but the currency pick, you can use that anytime starting right now. Here it is. We're going to sell short the pound yen, the British pound against the Japanese yen. You're going to sell it short at a price of 209.51 or higher. And you're going to look to set a stop loss at 210 pips higher and take profit at 324 pips lower. Japanese yen has been getting a lot of strength because the carry trade's unwinding and lots of other geopolitical macro stuff going on. The pound is no exception. It's getting beat up against the yen, and Edgefinder thinks it's likely to keep getting beat up even worse to the tune of 324 pips lower, below 209.51, or wherever you initiate the trade. We'll look at the regular charts and see where that's going to go for now. But these are the trades, and the typical time frame of these is somewhere between 1 day and a couple of weeks. These trades here, I'm thinking the Newmont Mining one probably won't last more than 3 or 4 days. The pound yen may take a little longer in order for it to play out fully. But these are kind of exciting trades. And we're going to look at the charts here in a moment. But I want to revisit what we gave out last Wednesday because it turned out really amazing. We gave out the trade signal on AMD on the 21st of January in the evening. And then that next morning, it showed up, well, like this. See, on this chart, I've got a little bit of a range indicator. The green is purchase price up to target, and the pink is purchase price down to stop loss. So we had a much larger range for the stop loss than for the target. That's why randomness predicted 76% chance of winning. I mean, even if you didn't have any sort of edge to your system, you should still have a high probability of winning. The trade-off is you don't win very much. Small, consistent wins. That's that style. But Edgefinder predicted that there would be an 85.3% chance of winning. Well, the trade won. Shocker, I know. But the real fun is, check this out. Look at the 5-minute chart. You can see for yourself how the trade won. AMD had actually gapped up from the previous close, and so it opened close to 252. But the trade entry price was below 251. Well, that was no problem. Right out of the gate, AMD started dropping. We'll get in the trade. And felt a little scary at first because the trade was going against, right? But the trade setup gave plenty of room. That's why you make a large stop loss for some of these trades, is because you're allowing for fluctuation. And within just a couple hours, it had hit the profit target just like that. Now, admittedly, AMD went up the next day, but now it's right back. So if you were clever and sort of let it run, you could make even a larger profit. But if you're too smart for yourself, you could have gotten stuck losing all that profit, giving it all back. So that's why we say just take these exact stop and target recommendations, and over time, over many trades, they'll work out for you. They'll pay you. Now, in the case of the Japanese yen, we were only trying to get 69 pips, and we got in on that first hourly candle. We looked at the hourly chart last week. That first hourly candle came right down and hit the target, then turned right around and went back up. This looks like a loss, but what you might not recognize here is that there is a shadow, a downward wick on this candle that drops all the way down to the profit target, just right there. This is an amazing call that came out of the Edgefinder system. Edgefinder is built on historical data going back 20 years and looking at patterns and saying, well, historically, when you see these kinds of patterns, here's the best trade setup. And that's what it did. That's what it said was a good trade setup. But we also said last week, hey, you can actually trade this. This is still active all the way until the New York close. And so if you had done that, look at what happened here. Edgefinder predicted an 85% chance of win. Well, we won 12 and lost 3. So that's an 80% chance, or 80% win rate. And that worked out. That was over and above the 76% chance of win that the setup had made. And so, it did work out. You don't win them all. The idea is that you want to win a little bit more than random. So that's how the last 2 trades we gave out worked. It'd be interesting to see how these next 2 work out. I'm just as curious as you are, but we're going to keep sharing these every Tuesday and Thursday. And we're also going to keep build a track record and see how it's gone. Now you might think, well, wait a minute. I don't want to just get, little bits here and there. I want to buy the right stock or currency and just hold on and let it go and go and go. And then I can retire. That's great. Find another podcast though, because that's not what I have. See, that's like going into Dawson Creek in Alaska and saying, I'm looking for a big chunk of gold nugget. Yeah, you're not going to find it. What you are going to find are little flakes. In fact, nowadays they're microscopic flakes. They mine gold by digging out a bunch of dirt, chemically separating everything into a liquid slurry, and then separating the non-gold and the gold. That's how they do it. Now, you think, could that work in trading? I'm here to tell you it can and has. Here's what I mean. Look at this. It's true that just right after our signal, the yen made this huge down move. We didn't have a signal for that. We just had a signal for a tiny little profit grab right in front of it. Couldn't we really, if we miss a big trade like this, could we really turn it into profit? See, we get trades all the time out of Edgefinder. We're getting many dozens of signals every day, but we're only sharing one stock and one currency with you here to give you an idea of what it's like. But we've done this. We've put this to commercial use and published our trade picks with our subscribers. Here is a list of 30 trades, 28 trades actually. 5 of them didn't end up filling, but 28 of them filled out of the 33. And you can see a large percentage of them were winners. And if you look really closely at this data and see where these trades were, PLAY, that's Dave and Buster's, right? Get in at 17.98. You're willing to lose $1.50. You hope to gain $1.60, and it turned out we got the $1.60. And just little bits, like this is starting with a $10,000 account and we're making like $200 or $150 or $124 or $224, small little bits all along the way. But look what it adds up to. In just 3 months, in these small cap stocks, we were up 13.1%. This is just the previous quarter we did this, compared to the Russell 2000 small cap stock index, which was 3.2% for the same period. So we extracted more value out of these tiny little bits than simply buying and holding the Russell 2000 index. This is all available at myedgefinder.com. You can check it out there. Let me give you a little demo. I've got this video prepared just to help you understand what My Edgefinder does. And
super smart assistant, and you could send them off to search through billions of trading strategies to find the ones that actually work for the stocks you care about. And what if the assistant never complained, but just brought you robust trading solutions you could use within minutes of asking for them? That is exactly what Edgefinder does. See, here's the problem. There are millions of possible ways to trade any stock. Different entry points, different exit strategies, different timing rules. You could spend years testing strategies one by one and never find a profitable approach. Most traders give up before they ever do. However, Edgefinder can do it for you in minutes. Here's how it works. Edgefinder uses a process of machine learning known as genetic algorithms. Think of it like evolution, but for trading strategies. You rapidly sort through trading strategies by comparing one solution against 100 others in each generation. But all of that is in the background. Here's how simple it is to use. Step 1. You pick a stock, ETF, crypto, or Forex pair you want to trade. Step 2. You select the Evolve button and Edgefinder gets to work. It searches through billions of possible trading rules using up to 25 years of historical data to find a trading solution. Step 3. It identifies how well the solution compares to a simple buy and hold approach. Step 4. Next, it tests those strategies on fresh data to make sure they actually work. All of this happens automatically in just a few minutes, and Edgefinder displays a solution for you to evaluate. Once you have looked over the solution, if you like it, you can activate it with one click. Then the real magic happens. 4 hours after the market closes each day, Edgefinder will check to see if the next day would be good for a trade. If so, you'll get a trading alert. Each alert tells you exactly what to do by showing you the entry price, the order type, your stop loss exit, and your profit target. Now here's what's important to understand. Edgefinder is a research tool that finds unique strategies built on patterns so deep that most traders couldn't recognize them by looking at a chart. The number of possible working solutions is astronomically large. Edgefinder is the trading research assistant that can test more strategies in minutes than you could test in years. It also reviews your solutions daily and sends you timely alerts. Subscribe to myedgefinder.com.
well, I hope that little demo there gives you just a quick idea of what the software does, how it is that the software I'm using actually gives out trading signals that work. I want to show you more specifically here. I'm going to share my screen, and there, let's look at the Newmont mining signal that we mentioned earlier. This is it depicted on a chart. Tomorrow morning, when the New York Stock Exchange opens, this entry signal at 126.20, that price or below, stop loss of $2.53, target of $3.52. You can see this is the trade setup. Newmont Mining's been on a real tear, like gold and all the other gold miners. And yet, Edgefinder says, you know what? There's still more to go. Now, if you're already holding gold, you're probably excited about this news. But I'm not talking about trying to make somebody who's already been holding gold forever even a little more money. Great if you do. Good on you. But what if you missed the whole thing? Now, how do you make any money? Here, just make a small trade. Now, there's no guarantee that this is going to win. In fact, the probability of winning this, just from random price action would be less than 50%. You know why? Look, the risk reward ratio here is 1.39. I'm risking a smaller amount to make a bigger amount. Whenever I do that, random price action says that the probability is below 50%. In order for it to be 50-50, I need to be risking the same amount. Risk $2 down, try to get $2.50 up. That's a 50-50 trade, assuming I don't have any edge to my research or the knowledge of what I've been doing. In this case, the Newmont mining trade is setting up that I should be winning it, something like about 39 or 40% of the time. But I want to show you what this signal actually, the system that it's coming from. See, this is the solution that Newmont mining was generated from. So I have these solutions evolved, and is that coming up? Yeah, it's coming. And these solutions give me the statistics of how the trades should perform. I never know which trade is going to be a winner, but I can know what the general probabilities are historically, what they've been, right? So when Edgefinder does its back testing, it runs back to the year 2000. That's all this stuff on the left half, right? The statistics of this are here. You can see that the win rate of this has historically been 60%. That's kind of amazing. 60%. That's a 5% edge on the filled trades. But if I go and look at the out of sample, the out of sample is, I went 20 years of back testing, and then I said, okay, now start testing these rules based on the data I give you, which in this case was year-end 2023. So go from year-end 2023 all the way up until now, and let's see how we do. And the statistics are that has a 7.2% edge, a win rate of 57.5. 57.5. So here I have a trade which should win less than 50% of the time, but historically has won 57% of the time. And that was after the rules were set down in late 2023. So this turns out to be a really good system. And that's the kind of thing we're looking at here. So when you look at this trade and you say, well, there's less than 50% chance it's going to win, at least by the data setup, but based on the research, historically, patterns like this win 60% of the time. Either way, it's not a guarantee. But if you trade these enough, your trading goes forward. It's like counting cards in Vegas. You just tilt the odds in your favor over and above randomness. Now then, there's one more trade, and that's the other one we gave out tonight. Pound yen. And this trade, we set up to be a short starting anywhere above 208. So, I mean, this is really easy. You got a $3 or a 350 pip move and a 250 pip gain. I want to make sure I got that exactly right here. Let me see if I can. Oh, sorry. 324. Oh, I've got my numbers wrong. 324 pip to the downside. Let me set these up right. Got a little confused there. Went too fast. And no, 324 profit. And how much? There it is. 210 for a stop loss. 210. Now, I think this is actually, it need, because it's a yen pair, I need an additional there. That's what I need. Yeah, this is the trade right here. So anywhere above 208, I'm good to go. You can get in right now and set up this kind of a trade. This trade has a risk-reward ratio of 0.65, and that means it's going to win about 60% of the time. So more chances to win this than lose it. But it might take a few days for it to play out, as it does. Now I got to go back to the Newmont mine and make a correction. Apologize, folks. I got these backwards. $352. There we go. That's what the trade should actually look like. And that's a lot easier to hit. We got to wait for the price to dip down to 126.20 or lower. And then once you get in, you're looking for a $2.53 move. So Newmont Mining and the pound yen, those are the two trading setups for today. Good luck. Trade well.